break down creative financing for me, though. You mentioned sub two. What is
Yeah.
that?
Subject to is basically purchasing the property according to its existing mortgage. You're going to buy it with the existing mortgage. So what that means for us is if you find an individual seller who is pre-foreclosure, for instance, so they have a couple of back payments, they haven't made their mortgage payments in 30 days, or excuse me, more like 30 days, more like 90 days. Usually that's when they start to go into the foreclosure proceedings. But foreclosures are not, they don't just happen instantaneously, right? So they go down the road. Sometimes they might say you'll have your foreclosure time is going to be 6 months out. So what that allows you to do now is to go to that seller and say, hey, listen, I can see you in pretty hard times, right? You have a mortgage here, payments that you haven't made, and you are backed, probably back behind it. You're on foreclosure. If you get a good rapport with the individual seller and hey, say, how much are you back behind? Oh, I'm back, $13,000. Okay, I see it. That's pretty tough. But I'll tell you what, we got a solution for you. We can keep a foreclosure off your record, which could really mess you up, right?
Yeah.
And so we say, I'll pay that backed amount, that 13,000. And moving forward, I'll even pay the monthly payments moving forward. But in exchange, you're going to give me the deed of the property. That's how we do it. And what benefits that for the seller is because they don't get a foreclosure on their credit report, right? They know that they have payments coming in monthly on the mortgage that they have for the prior house, and allows them to go out and go buy another house, right? They can go buy another house without having a big hit on their credit report. So that's a big thing. So in this market now that we are, and I'm glad that we kind of brought that up, we're headed to that, right?
Yeah.
We're in an inflationary market. We had a lot of people buy more house than they could afford, especially when property taxes are increasing significantly, cost of everything. Insurance is increasing, right? So you're gonna have people who are gonna be in some hard times. So us as investors can give them a solution, keep them from having a wreck credit report, and provide them with an exit strategy to get out of that. So that's what subject to is.
So I've not done a subject to yet. I've heard about it and I think
Yeah.
it's amazing. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
great strategy and I definitely plan on implementing it. And I tried to implement it, matter of fact, on an apartment complex.
I remember that.
Due diligence did not play through the way I wanted it to. So it never came to fruition. But so you mentioned that they could go and take out another home loan. Is that while you're still taking over their note payment? So you say, hey, I'm going to make your payments. So you're keeping your financing in place. We're going to do a deed transfer. So we're going to go to the title attorney and real estate attorney, and they're going to transfer this deed over to me. Do you know what is protecting them to say you're going to be a man of your word and you're not going to just run away with the house while they're still stuck with mortgage?
That's when an attorney comes in. So you have your own documents that are written up by an attorney so that the individual seller understands that you have a promise to make sure to make the payments on the behalf of that individual seller.
So there's a contract.
It's a contract, yes. So
Yeah.
it's not specific to it's not a word of mouth thing. We're not doing a word of mouth thing here. We need everything in writing. So that's what I'm obligated to do is make that payment for him or her on their mortgage. But, and especially when giving me the deed right now. So taking ownership of this property, I'm going to be incentivized to do that part, right? The big thing some people might ask, and you say, how does the bank not know that you did this, right? So some mortgage clauses have something called an acceleration clause. And what an acceleration clause is when you sell or basically deed over the property, right? If it's outside of a different entity from something that you own, they can ask for the whole loan in its entirety. That's what's considered an acceleration clause. Now, let's take it, for instance, Bank of America. They provide, and I don't know how many mortgages Bank of America provides in a year. How many times do you think they have the time to go look for an acceleration clause on every single one, right? So as long as the payments are made, right? Generally speaking, some people might be fearful, but as long as the payments are made, you are able to do this. Also, in addition to properties that are FHA, owned by FHA, right? The Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac's properties and VA loan ones are also very good ones to do this with. Privately owned loans and mortgages might not be the best situation because they don't have a high volume. Think about that, right?
Yeah.
So you're not going to have, how many loans does like I mentioned, Bank of America, Chase Bank, how many loans do they formulate in a given year? So that's where that part comes into. So you will have an issue with that. But
What
again,
about insurance?
insurance, yes, the insurance situation, you can create another insurance clause on that too. So you won't have the actual homeowner pull out the insurance. You pull the insurance out, or in the name of your business, which is ideally the smartest way to do it. So
Yeah.
that's how you get that situation, and it allows you to take over the mortgage and the property.
Okay. All right. So you need a real estate attorney on your back end for the sub two. That's for sure.
Yeah, properly. You really want to get documentation good on this situation. It's not something you want to willy nilly do. It's a little bit more of a complicated format of creative finance. So is the innovation agreement one, but that's another one too. But the simplest, straightforward thought process one is going to be the seller finance side.
Yeah. So let's ask a couple more questions on the subject too. So
Sure.
I'm the seller, you're the buyer. And
Correct.
I say, how do I know you're going to make my payments?
Good question. So, hey, you're building a rapport. Obviously, you sold in the person because there's three elements of trust, right? You got to think about that too, right? Credibility, right? Reliability. And last is just the feeling. You want to make this person feel correct. You make them feel that you are able to, you are who you say you are. So you're providing those three things to enjoy and to develop a trust situation. You're going to get a durable power of attorney. Okay. Durable power of attorney will allow you to get the information about the mortgage, but also make the payments on their behalf. So that's going to show you too. It's like, I'm going to get the durable power of attorney for you, with obviously what you're signing off on this standpoint. And as well, so that I can show you that I'm making this payments. And as well as it's nice because they'll be able to peek in on the account monthly, right? Because they have access to it anyway.
Right.
And they can see the payments coming in monthly every single time. So that's how we're sub two. Do not give the money to the seller. Okay. Can I express that up? If they have problems making payments before, chances are they have other debts that are going on too.
Yep.
So they'll use it. If you give the money directly to them, they're going to use it for other stuff instead of making the mortgage payments. So make the payments on their behalf. Can't express that enough.
So how do you handle getting them out of the house? Are you going to let them stay as tenants even though they've...
No. Do not do that. So you're going to make sure that you don't really close on this deal until they're out. They have to be completely vacated before. This is not something you want to do a holdback or anything like that. This is not that. Subject to, you want them out of the house entirely before you even decide to close. Because especially as I mentioned, those funds, right? Paying up the mortgage. You can pay the mortgage up, but then they might ask for more funds for them to, move, which is understandable, right? So maybe another $3,000 to $4,000 on top of that so that they can find another place to move to, an apartment or so, or family and friends. But to anything before any single dime is exchanged and then the deed is signed over and nothing, they got to be completely vacated out. I wouldn't pay a single dime until they're out.